Oh. What's going on, YouTube? CryptoCrank First live stream with the Cranksters. We're going to be going over a handful of different things today, different TA, who I am, what I do, how long I've been doing it. Catch a little something while we're on live. First of all, guys, I'm a full-time day trader. I've been in cryptocurrency for about 8 years now. I've been in a handful of different groups on the internet. I'm a moderator for a handful of different groups as well. A lot of different mentors that have taught me a lot of the things that I'm going to be going over on the lives on YouTube, as well as my my Telegram, where I have my premium group and my open chat. Let's see what we can come up with today. So first of all, guys, we got Bitcoin here that's been in just an absolute tear. We go to the 2 hour here. We can see that Bitcoin, every time that this has been shorted, these guys have just been blown out of the water. We could see, clean this up. Anything get shorted, blown out of the water. Anything try to get shorted, blown out of the water. Try to short, blown out of the water. Right now, what we're watching for is if Bitcoin is going to be holding this massive support here. This is going to be at 102 300s. And I'm making sure that my audio is working good here. I'm asking my my chat if it sounds good. Again, first YouTube video. A lot of these other streamers kind of know me because again, I've been a moderator for them for years. I've done a lot of different TA. I've given a lot of different opinions, and some have been spot on, and some haven't. You know, it's crypto, volatile as can be, guys. But learning how to navigate this can make you a boat ton of money. It's helped me over the last few years, really just be independent as a trader for technically really the last 3-4 years. And some of the mentors that that I've learned from, one being CryptoFace, Jason Casper and the Casper Group, big shout out to them, have really started me off in the right direction on learning how to use tools such as TradingView, how to use the tools within TradingView, like our Fibonacci, our volumes, and also shout out to Market Cipher. All right, another big indicator that I do use. when I'm day trading. So let's go over a handful of different things, guys, because I've been waiting to break the internet, show the world what I'm able to do, the trades that I'm currently in, and let's see what we can come up with today. So again, Bitcoin as of right now is holding this massive. It's a 786, guys. We can see here that if we just pull our go to the daily on this, we would pull our fib from our top to our bottom. You can see here that Bitcoin, this should have been a resistance. This should have been a big resistance on Bitcoin when we came up to it. We came up to the golden pocket rejection, but then we ended up just bolting right through it. And we took off directly past the 786, and now we are flipping it into support. This support here holds. Probability states that we're absolutely going to be ending up putting up we're going to be putting in a new all-time high. Okay, absolutely putting in a new all-time high. Targets for the upside are going to be up at 112 at $112,000. Where do we do that? It's just pulling out a fib, a trend-based fib retracement. So let's go ahead and do that right now. And I like pulling the fib here from this low of 48.8 to our highs of 110 back down to our new low of 74.5. Let's go over here. You can see trend-based fib extensions. We go from here to our high to our low right here. And you can see our next big 618 target, guys. If Bitcoin does hold this 786 down here on this support, we're going to be looking like $112,000 is going to be Bitcoin's new target, putting in a brand new all-time high. If we nuke that, we're coming up to the 786. Just like I said at the beginning of the stream, anytime anybody shorting these things, these whales have been, man, you have it on lock. Just when you think, oh, time to short Bitcoin, we haven't seen this price in a while, blowing them out of the water. Blowing them out of the water. So let's go to a local time frame. Let's just go to a 2 hour, and I can show you exactly what I mean. Just on this move right here. And trying to short this in this range. Just when you think you have it, nope, blown out of the water. Just when you think you have it, blown out of the water. Just when you think you have it, blown out of the water. So the more that these things get shorted, the higher this thing can go. Eventually, the entity or the institution that is holding this up, I do have targets of $97,000. How do I get there? And I just take a huge volume of undecided traders. This big volume area here, you can see. If we were just to pull a fib from this low here, oops, we pull our fib from this low to this high, we can see that this will end up being a massive flip. We end up seeing Bitcoin come right to this golden pocket, hopefully. And that's going to be anywhere between 97.3 and 97.700s. We come down here, and we can absolutely put in that new high up at 112,000. 112. So it's really just based on Bitcoin. If Bitcoin is going to hold this level here on support, I do expect that we need this money down here in order to see that new all-time high. I could be wrong. And the more that this thing gets shorted, the higher that these whales or these entities are just pushing this thing. And at some level, they're going to end up having their own shorts, whether it is at our high of 110 or if it's going to be at our new high at 112. 112,000. So it's really just based on Bitcoin. Now, the way I trade and the way I teach my trading group inside of the Telegram for the Cranksters is I do use Bitcoin as an indicator. It could just be Bitcoin is used as an indicator. Everything is going to be anchored to Bitcoin. A lot of the times, Bitcoin is going to be anchored to the SPY. Let's just look at the SPY real quick. And we can see here, the way Bitcoin kind of acts throughout the day, through a Monday through Friday, is kind of like a stock. It likes to be anchored to the SPY. All of the altcoins like to be anchored to Bitcoin. And so when Bitcoin makes a 1 to 2% move, or even a 0.5% move, most of these altcoins are getting into that 1.5%, 2%. And when you use the tool of leverage on these exchanges, This is where things get real spicy. This is where we can make a ton of money with the correct risk management, patient enough to get the correct entries, and have a game plan for an entry, an exit, and a stop loss. You can make a lot of money in the world of cryptocurrency and day trading. I'm sure you guys have seen a lot of these other traders that are doing it, and man, these guys are absolutely killing it. Again, Jason Casper, shout out to him. We all know Crypto Face and how much of a boss he is, making that $2 million in 2 days on this massive, massive move that we just witnessed. But Bitcoin does have a target. I have a target for Bitcoin at that golden pocket down below at 97,000, especially if the SPY is to come down and fill this CME gap. All right, if the SPY fills this gap, which is open, and that gap is right between 56.60s all the way up to 57.20s. If the SPY does end up coming down, then I do think that Bitcoin is going to end up making its way down here into its golden pocket. And then we just continue this rally. We have all the fuel needed now, guys. We have all the liquidity grabbed that we're ready to hold. Now, obviously, it's going to be contingent if Bitcoin does break this big local fib here, 786. This was a rejection. Now it's being flipped into support. If Bitcoin doesn't break this, shoot, man, we could do it right now without the SPY. If the SPY just doesn't turn around. But at some point, Bitcoin needs a breather. It absolutely needs to take a breather. What goes up must come down. And it's just really a liquidity grab for these institutions. Let's look at that real quick. Let's just go over here and I can show the heat map. Give me just a second here. Let's go right here. And here's our heat map, guys. I like using this tool here because we can see exactly where these liquidations are. The tool is CoinGlass. And we can see if we just zoom out just a little bit on the 1 week. When in doubt, zoom out. You can see this liquidity is all the way down to 99s, $97,000. Zoom out a little bit more and see what that looks like. Really, we're lit up like a Christmas tree all the way down to $93,000. But I don't know if we're going to see $93,000 in one big swing. Let's see. Hold on. Let me show you guys real quick at the stage. And here's our heat map. Here's our heat map. So I zoomed all the way out to the 2 weeks just to see how far that liquidity can go on these liquidations, all the way back to $93,000. $93,000 is lit up like a Christmas tree. We go to a 1 week, and we can see 99,000, 98,000. And remember that big Fibonacci retracement on the 618 is coming down at 97s. 97,000 is coming down, getting all this liquidity, and then we're ready to fire back off up to that 112, putting a new all-time high for Bitcoin. Let's go to a 3-day. We could see that when we came down to the big support line, we grabbed all that liquidity again. We grabbed all that liquidity again on that support line at the at 102,200. Now, in the meantime, what I've been doing is I've been doing what I call radical scalp. All right, let me remove this. Let's get back over here. And it does look like Bitcoin's holding. So one of the trades that I did end up taking here, and I'll show you guys here in a moment on the exchange, when Bitcoin comes down to this support line, remember earlier I was saying that all the shit coins, every crypto, unless you got something real special like or some of these meme coins that just want to just go ape shit. When Bitcoin comes down here to this support, I've been taking a lot of altcoin trades, Yesterday in my premium channel, BNB has just been one really strong project, and we told everybody just to go ahead and take that BNB trade anywhere between 651 and 648. Right? The targets for these trades were going to be all the way up at 675, 680. Man, oh man, it just blew our expectations out of the water on this trade. The Cranksters absolutely just murdered it on this trade all the way up, guys. So this big support right here for BNB when Bitcoin came down, to support, I did take the BNB trade. And why did I take that? I just pull a fib, guys, from here to here. All right, let's go up just a tad, right there. You can see that it came touching down into this golden pocket right here for a retracement, and she did end up getting a good bounce. So let me show you guys my exchange real quick. I am inside of this trade. So we could see, let's make sure that you guys can see that on the exchange. It's coming up here in just a second. There we go. And then we'll just start looking at some altcoins, guys. Some altcoins and some certain ideas that I have. Yeah, I can see here. I did end up taking that that trade at that golden pocket. Did end up taking that trade at the golden pocket here in BNB. We're up $630. One of those trades that I just that I got here got blown out on a little shit coin. 457. We have our big BNB trade for 3,400, 3,413. Just a little stop loss. Most of my losses, guys, are going to be right around $200. Another $1,400 made on Jupiter. In my premium in my channel, the less coins you look at, the more focused you're going to be on the coins that you trade. So me personally, I like trading. Obviously Bitcoin, Ethereum. I love Jupiter, Chainlink, BNB, and AVAX. A little bit of DOT. I do use MEXC, guys. A big shout out to MEXC. The lowest fees out there, guys. The lowest fees out there. Massive liquidity, especially when you're using radical scalp methods to be able to get in and out of these trades. You know, a couple $100 in fees, man, can a day on some of these plays are killer. Absolutely killer. Check the chat out, guys. What's up, Razorback? What's up, Stephen Gates, Alexandra? Finally made it to the live over here. I'm excited. Finally made it over here to the live, and hopefully I can stay on the YouTube and grow. Maybe do a couple of collabs with some of those other channels that I'm also part of. Hold all of them. I'm getting ready to go live. You know what I mean? And I just figured, man, now's a better time than ever. Things are spicy right now. And I know that you guys see some of my trades and all of those, all the other groups, Discover Group, Jason Casper P&Ls, Face P&Ls. I'm posting these things because trading has been absolutely spicy right now. Almost every trade's been anywhere between $600 to $4,000 on these trades consistently. And my channel, though, I teach how to trade, though, the style that I use, the range trading, the swing trading, and then obviously my radical scalp method. And my radical scalp method is the big one, absolutely the big one, because in this market, I haven't really been into the set and forget just yet. Haven't really been into the set and forget just yet. And I think that we're going to be getting into that time frame where we are going to be able to set and forget on this pullback and let some of these trades really breathe. Let's go back over here. It's definitely been a scalping market, 100%. YouTube just got cranked. Yeah, hopefully we can grow, man, and blow it up. I'm excited. I'm excited to show you guys what I've been doing the last couple years. Let's do a little bit more TA again, guys. I'm inside of this BNB trade. Obviously, when we come down and just kind of the fact that we blew through this, I don't mind getting stopped out directly underneath, take a small loss, and maybe re-hit on this high volume down here of 650s. Get right back into this trade of 650s, where we come back down to the 786 right here, and I'll retake that trade. But if Bitcoin does end up holding this level, which you got to trust it until it breaks. If it breaks, then all bets are off on these altcoins right now, because then Bitcoin can definitely come down to this $98,000 target, and that would put let's look at some of these targets if it was to break for BNB. All this up, and we can pull a fib here from the bottom, really from 680s. We'd have a target here of 620s for BNB, which I would absolutely take this trade here, 620s. Flip this here into support. It just goes right in line with some of this big move here into support, and then we take off again. One of the coins that I love trading in the premium that I have, and we were way back here, guys, on this. Let's go out here. This was another really good call that we had in the premium here. When Chainlink came, we put in our low, guys, of 1030. Came all the way up here to the top of this at 15 on this retracement of the golden pocket. We touched to the dollar of this. We touched to the dollar of this golden pocket right here, guys, and she just took off. Absolutely took off. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna pull that fib here from the breakout right here from the bottom, and our target is gonna end up being 1480 somewhere in here. 1480. I'm looking to take this trade as well. And it just really depends on how bad Bitcoin, how low Bitcoin goes. If Bitcoin holds that 97, 98, then I don't expect these altcoins to just get obliterated. I expect them to try to hold some of these retracements all the way down. We can take some nice big longs and try to set and forget if the bull run continues. I think it is. I mean, this just wasn't a penny move, man. Almost the entire market swung. We have a lot of news events with tariffs, China trade deals, the wars ending, a lot of fuel, maybe some rate cuts. I'm in the camp they're not going to be doing rate cuts in June, July. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to hold it until all of this levels out, and then we could probably see some rate cuts here in maybe October, after the summer, August, October. If they do it earlier, then just more fuel to the fire. But I want to see some of these altcoins and take some of these nice big trades. These are money makers, guys, with low leverage, good money. Sheesh, man. These are big moves. 20% moves again after taking a nice breather. We go over here to Ethereum. Ethereum, man, finally woke up. ETH finally woke up. And a couple of different areas we can pull the fib, see where its retracement's going to be. If we just put the 1 hour here on it, we have a couple of different support levels. One being right here that it likes, and then right underneath. If we did pull a fib from that bottom there at 1750s all the way up, I don't know if ETH, maybe it can all the way back down to $2,000. If ETH comes back to $2,000, man, I'm gonna fire off that boy on this. Fire off a monster trade. I did this trade. Most of the channels know I had a monster Ethereum trade. It was like a $60,000-$70,000 profit. It's probably the biggest profit. I ended up closing the trade out though for almost $28,000. I didn't think we were ever going to see 30. Took me by surprise, but if we do end up coming down here to $2,000 on this big fib right here, on this massive fib retracement, I'm definitely going to throw the farm at this trade. And the targets for Ethereum are going to be way up here. I mean, first stop is going to be 31s, 28s, 3100s, and then right up to 34s, 36s. And then eventually, where I think Ethereum is going to hit that $6 grand, 5, 6 Gs. Absolutely going to hit it. In my channel, I said, guys, we haven't missed anything yet. We haven't missed anything. When I took my last big Ethereum trade, all right, I took that trade. Let's go out to the daily here. I took that trade back at this range when ETH was in bear market lows and she was coiling up. I ended up taking that entry at 26.85 is what I had it posted up at 26.85, and that trade from here to here, I mean, just made ballistic money. It was 60 G's, almost 60 grand. Now that we're getting back into that territory, so I do think that if Ethereum can pull back just a little bit, if ETH could just pull back just a little bit down to 2 G's, man, I want this trade. That means that we're now turning those bear market lows into supports. We just took a breather, and then Ethereum just takes off. I don't know if we get that low down to 2 grand. That's a $500. So if we're going to end up just holding this level here, a smaller pullback, or even to the 382, and then she takes off again, right up into this area. And let's see here. We got XRP. XRP was beautiful on its pullback. It didn't end up pulling an Ethereum and going into bear market lows. Ethereum, XRP came right down into that fib, almost right down to that fib, man. And XRP is just so bullish, just like BNB. There's only a handful of projects, guys, that are really, really outperforming just this run right here. And Sui's one of them. BNB's one of them. XRP's another. And they're just cooking. I mean, technically, if XRP can get right out of this level, you can see that this was resistance. We're coming up to it again. If she cooks this, sky's the limit on XRP right now. 320s, right up in here. Big targets, you guys. Big targets. And again, some of you guys that are using these exchanges and using leverage, be careful out there, because the reason I haven't set any trades for set and forgets is because just when you think you got it, man, just when you think, hey, I should, this is the bottom right here. For example, this is the bottom. Just when you think you got it, man, she's ready to bounce. Boom. No, she's not. She's bullish. No, she's not. She's bullish. No, she's not. Let's find out, now that we're up in these levels, if Bitcoin can hold, if she's finally going to just take off. Polkadot, I like trading Polkadot. Some of these assets that I trade, guys, too, on MEXC, there's zero fees on MEXC. All right. And it really helps with some of these trades, getting in and out. Stop losses, a true $200 loss is a $200 loss. A true $600 profit is a true $600 profit. And so I do like MEXC because it does have rotating fees. Is the music too loud? I want to make sure that you guys can hear me and that music isn't too loud. You guys can just let me know in the chat. Alexandra, did you want me to show that heat map again, or did you already see it? Can you go over it? $97,000 seems to be music isn't too loud. Cool. Yeah, $97,000 seems to be my target, guys. Seems to be my target, but the problem is how high do we go before we see that 97 G's? I do think 97 grand could be all day. Again, when we're looking at some of these altcoins, especially like Polkadot, I like trading Dot, man, just because those zero fees, man, you can make some whoppers on these things. Let's go to just a 1 hour here. Same as everything else, man. If we break this, then we got to just start pulling fibs from these from the supports here, and Polkadot at 430s, 450s. Just really, again, all of these altcoins, you guys, are really going to depend on what Bitcoin does. If Bitcoin, I'm telling you, if Bitcoin breaks this, don't be surprised why your shitcoin took a dump, man. Everything is anchored to Bitcoin. Again, there's only a handful of instances, a handful of projects that are different, and that would be like Sui, or something where it's just on its own trajectory. The whales have taken full place, just full in effect. It's doing its own thing. If you guys got some you guys would like me to chart, I'm more than happy to do that. If there's any projects that you guys are looking at, if you haven't traded any of these moves yet and you're just holding on to your spot bags, definitely get inside of some of these groups and learn how to trade. Make some daily income, grow your bags. I also teach how to do margin trading. You know, in my premium, we were trading for a ton more chain link. I was able to turn 220 chain link into 1100s. Tripled out that account. We were trading for more Polkadot. And so you don't just have to, just buy crypto. You can learn how to do coin margin trading, make more with your crypto. But it's in day trading, guys, it's always the exact same thing. You know what I mean? It's got to have an answer to everything and stick to a strategy and a plan. And you really got to have patience. Otherwise, you're gambling. Gambling in this market here with Bitcoin, Ethereum, Chainlink, all of these coins. Man, fastest way to lose some money. Some of those other traders, what could I have done with that money? I tell myself, what could I have done with that money? And it looks like Bitcoin that 786, guys. It's like in this range. Every single time we've bounced, this could have been along for pretty much anybody that wanted to take it. Let's go back over here. We can see that let's go over here to this tab. You can see my trades cooking right now, guys. We're up another $850. We took this long at the bottom right there on BNB's 618 golden pocket. Bitcoin can get back to the top of its range. Bitcoin can get back here to the top of its range. You guys, James Goldman flipped it. Let's draw the support line again. Bitcoin could just get back to the top of this range here. My B trade is going to end up being another $3,000. We'll call it a day. I could even lock it up right now at 850. Every trader's got a different goal for the day. You know, you don't want to have a daily goal. Sometimes you'll start forcing trades that aren't there. The fastest way to lose money as well. Setting goals, and if the trade setup and your strategy isn't there, then you're forcing trades. You know, it's really nice when Bitcoin comes down to its to support, and you start finding some confluence on some of these altcoins. Again, on the BNB trade, the reason why I took it here, let's just clean all of this up. All I did was pull a fib from this bottom to the top. Bitcoin came right down. I mean, the BNB came right down into its golden pocket right here. While Bitcoin was touching its support, I fired off on this trade. Let's see what we can make of it. Is the sound a little messed up? Again, first live stream, guys. I'm trying to dial everything in, making sure it's nice. I'm going to be making adjustments left and right on my stream. Yeah, Graham, I did end up taking that BNB trade, dude. I did end up taking that BNB trade. We're up $800 on that trade. Cutting out a little bit. Little choppy. Let me see if I can fix that here. Let's go to settings, audio. I turned off the echo cancellation and reduced mic background noise. Does that sound a little bit better? Or is it worse? You guys try to help me out. That way I have it all. That way I have it all decked out for the next time. It's better now, Graham? All right, cool. Awesome. Sweet. We're jamming, guys. So let's go back over here and let's ramp up the mic volume. How about that? Is that much better? You guys can still hear the background music? All right. Right on, Razorback. Sounds great. Cool. So, again, guys, I just wanted to come on and do my first live stream, show some of the trades that I'm in. Again, we're almost up $1,000 on that BNB trade. If she pops off, let's see if we can make another 2-3 grand today. And then, again, I do have, if you guys can share the stream, you know, like it, share it for me. On my YouTube, you guys, there's my Telegram group that you guys can get into, to my open chat. Surround yourself with a bunch of other traders that are also trying to learn the strategies, the styles, the methods. But if you guys got any altcoins, let's check them out right now. Like I said, I'm just watching my trade print right now. But it's awesome whenever you can find some confluence on some TA. Again, Bitcoin comes down to a support. These altcoins happen. Again, Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, SUI. Some of these are just way strong. When this thing came down into this golden pocket, I let it breathe for a little bit, and then I took that trade. I told the premium group that I was going to end up taking this trade. Held off for a little bit, and then I fired off right before I went on stream. And normally when Bitcoin hits this trend line here, kind of bounces and then kind of slow climbs up. I kind of expect the same thing before we get back up into this range again. What I'm really expecting, guys, is if Bitcoin does break this, man, these altcoins are going to just get murdered. Down to 97 Gs, then some of these things are going to be breaking these supports. And really, for me, I'm a little biased because I do want to get into some of these set and forgets, get in on that Ethereum trade at 2,000, 2,200s, and ride that puppy up to 31s, 36, man, and try to make a fatty. Just try to get in some of these big trades, you guys. Yeah, let's look at ENA. Let's go. Let's look at ENA, USDT. So ENA came up to the big resistance right up in here, guys. Big resistance. I think ENA, if she does end up holding any of these supports here on this fib, this is a little bit too long of a time frame. I don't think we're gonna come back down that low, man. To 32 cents. I guess we could. 32 cents. We're at what? 42. How big of a move is that? That's 20%. Let's just go to a 20-minute or a 1 hour. Let's go to a 1 hour here. Yeah, 32 cents. It's all going to come down to Bitcoin, guys, on these altcoins. It's all going to come down to Bitcoin. If it does not hold this support here, all right, if it does not hold this support here, and Bitcoin, so again, another altcoin, guys. Remember I was trying to say that I like using Bitcoin as an indicator. I like trying to find confluence. If Bitcoin comes down to its support, then I start trying to find confluence on support on the altcoin so I can take those trades like the BNB trade. Same thing. This came right down to its support. Look, this is its support. You could have taken the ENA trade right here. Right up to the top of this range. Same thing with Bitcoin if Bitcoin gets back up to the top of its range. If we break this right here, then I think that, if this breaks, guys, because again, technically the plan right now for Bitcoin and all of these altcoins, Bitcoin comes down to $97,000, all right, which is its big Fibonacci. We have the S&P that could fill this gap right underneath us. That makes total sense that both of those two things could happen sometime this week. That would be our cool-off period. great liquidity grab. And once we do that, we can take off and go to the moon again. So with Bitcoin, if Bitcoin does end up coming back down towards its $97,000, $98,000, breaks this support, flips this area into support, right? 97.4s, 97.5s, straight down into here, then I'd be looking for that 32 cents. I'd be looking for that 32 cents on ENA to take that long. Now, some of these longs, guys, we got to understand that we're in an environment change right now. Everything is so bullish that when we do get into these and it looks like these altcoins are pulling back, you know what I mean? Let's just say 25%, 25%, 10%. This could be hopefully, if the bull run continues. I mean, Bitcoin's been maintaining over $100,000. It's been maintaining 100 G's. So if we do see a nice big pullback, this could be it, guys. This could be our rally for the rest of the year, but we got to take it level by level. You know, let's just look at Bitcoin. And I told you guys I do use Market Cipher. Let's clean all of this up here. We go to the 1 hour on Bitcoin. Let's pull out Market Cipher. We could see here on the 1 hour time frames, she's coming down. We got tight RSIs. RSIs are low. Money flow's coming down low. Last time we were like this, guys, we kind of just bled out sideways. You could see that we had just momentum coming down, RSIs coming down. Once we enter into the red, so what I would be expecting is three things now. The S&P 500 fills the gap. Bitcoin comes down to the 97 into its Fibonacci level right in here. 97s right in here. Market Cipher goes into the red. Market Cipher goes into the red for a small period of time, just like it did here. When we start putting in these lows, we want to start seeing a bullish divergence. We want to see this complete on this wave here. Money flow starts crossing in a lower wave, bullish divergence as we're coming down, and as we're starting to cross over into the green again. Look what happens when we cross to the green. Somewhere in here we take that long again, take that long, and we get up to that 112 number. This is on the 1 hour, all right? On the 1 hour, it shows that Bitcoin should be coming down. Money flow's coming down. Momentum's coming down. On the 1 hour, it does show that we should be coming down. 4 hour, all right? As we came up, you can see here, this is a little tricky on the 4 hour because look, when we had this bearish divergence here, this thing just kept climbing. When we had this bearish divergence here, as we were coming up, she just kept going up. All right, even though this momentum was weak, she still kept climbing. So it could be the same thing as well. Now, and this is what's leading up to the daily time frame, which looks beautiful. You can see here, this move up right here, not a big momentum wave. It's still kind of bearish. This momentum wave should have came up. It didn't. But we go to the daily, and it just gets beautiful. We got high momentum waves, money flows just creeping up higher. On the daily, guys, Bitcoin looks like she's ready to just go ballistic. She looks like she's ready just to climb. Take out that previous all-time high. But again, a daily takes some time to play out. Absolutely takes some time to play out. When we look at just this whole money move from here, from where we're just getting started to here, you know, that's 71 days. If I just went from like this, where the money flows at now, and just kept climbing, it's about 70 days. You could see that if on the 1 and the 4 hour, we do end up coming down into the red for a small period of time, just a small period of time. We just kind of just take a quick little breather, get down into these into this big fib. The SPY ends up hitting its filling its gap. Shoot, man. Then that daily time frame is going to end up playing out, and we're going to cook. Then we could see something like this, where it's just the 1, the 2, the 3, and you end up seeing a third momentum wave, just freaking huge up here. Bam, a little bit higher. Just like right up in here, we have these 3, and she just cooked once we bottomed out over here. She just cooks. You still holding your short for the exact reason there? ETH on the 30-minute chart, please. Bullish divergence. Let's look at ETH real quick. ETH on the 30 minutes getting ready to enter into the red. Momentum's coming down. RSI's, man. Look at the 10-minute real quick here. ETH is flat compared to this big move up. Look at all this big green all the way. Now we're coming down into the red. It kind of lines up, guys, that everything's ready for a good breather. I mean, everything just went ballistic. You guys are going on. The whole world's going on 5, 6, 7 days of just bullish ape shit momentum. Let's look at the 1 hour on Ethereum. Same thing. This looks just like Bitcoin. Momentum's weak to the upside on the 1 day or on the 1 hour. Money flow's coming down. Let's go to a 4 hour. Look, momentum's getting weaker on the way up. Money is flat though. It's the same as back here as it is up here. The money's flat. It's not higher or lower. But we go to the daily and look at that. We're just getting started, guys. Everything is showing a quick cool off, quick liquidity grab and go, man. And that's why I want to be prepared. And so all of us need to be prepared for some of these positions as traders, that if we do get this pullback, this could be our final set and forget. I mean, ETH is finally getting out of this downward trend. All right, ETH's got some crazy patterns on it. Let's look at that real quick. And that's what I was talking about. Let's look at this. We're just starting into the green. We're just starting. Momentum's high. That's on the daily. Let's go to the 4 hour. Again, just kind of flat. This kind of tells me that it's attached to Bitcoin. Bitcoin took off from $97,000 to $106,000. Ethereum went and had its big pump from $1,800 to $2,600. And it's just time for just a quick little breather, grab and go. And so I do think that, again, if we pull this from here to here, this $2,000, man, this $2,075, which really is it's a big level. If we go over here to the daily, all right, let's go a little bit farther out so we can see that. At 2,000, yeah, $2,045. Look at this. This was a big support for all of us. All the times that we touched this, just right here on the top of that golden pocket, all the way through, you could see just support. $2,075, man. Support. Liquidity grab, this flash crash, this was crazy. Support. If we come back down here into this, guys, then I'm going to say, man, it's time to get into this ETH trade and get ready to rock and roll, because this thing's, I don't think she stops this time at 3,600s, 4,100s up there at the top. If we go to the weekly, actually, let's go to the 3 week. We have just a big trend line right here, and I'm sure you guys have probably seen this a bunch of times. Tried to break out. We're finally back inside of this massive wedge, you guys, and the target to this puppy here this target is huge. I mean, it just goes right in line, guys, for an $8,000 ETH, $7,500. But we're back inside of the game on this right now. Wouldn't be surprised, guys, if, look, 2070 ends up being our support line again. If we just put that right there, 2070, 2120, somewhere in there, and ETH was to hold, bam, we can take off right on out of here. But for right now, it looks like it's ready for a breather. Everything's just, if it doesn't hold right here, it's all contingent on Bitcoin. It's all contingent on Bitcoin. What's Bitcoin going to do? You guys are going to know if it breaks this right here, because it's going to break it and roll. I mean, it's going to roll. We could also see just a quick little flash wick, you know what I mean, and get back up here, try to get everybody scared. But ultimately, I do think that, you know, Bitcoin takes that breather, guys, and we get right up into that fib, right up in here, man. Somewhere in here. 97 400s, 95s. Is there any other coins you guys want me to look at? Where do you think an entry long would be on ETH? So is the best to wait for a pullback, searching for a level to enter? Feeling FOMO. You're feeling the FOMO. I know a lot of people missed this move because it was so violent, or two, a lot of people got wrecked trying to short some of this stuff, thinking that it wasn't time. And be patient. I call it in my, I call it the God entry, man. Waiting for that perfect entry takes patience. Again, when you're anxious and you want to trade, man, you start forcing things, and this is where you can start losing some money. You could definitely start losing money because you're not waiting. So I'd say right now I would be sticking to the radical scalp method. I'd be sticking to the radical scalp method, and that just is using Bitcoin as your indicator. When Bitcoin comes down to supports, you find confluence on your altcoins that you're going to trade. And again, I only trade probably 4 or 5 different altcoins. I've been doing it for the last 2 years, just watching them. I just, without even having to look at those coins, I could just know where, if Bitcoin's priced at $99,000 or, you know, 103,000, then you just know BNB is up in that 670, 630 range. You just know some of these Chainlink loves $17 to $19. Chainlink's gonna have a hard time getting above. This is why we're getting rejected here on Chainlink. You know, if we just go here to the daily, look, it just loves 1750. Touched it once, fell again. Touched it twice, fell again. This is high volume, guys, of these whales. If we can get past this, then then we can start talking about that $19, $20. This is a high range, man. This is big resistance for Chainlink. All right, wouldn't be surprised. But if Chainlink does come back down here into this $15, flips this into support, guys, this is going to be the big one right here, man. And again, the less altcoins you're looking at, the less assets you're looking at, the more focused you're going to be on the ones that you do trade. That way you're not all over the board. All right, that's why I like trading only BNB, Ethereum, Chainlink, XRP, DOT, just 4 or 5 different assets. And it looks like my trade's cooking right now. Let's go over here. I'll show you guys on the exchange here. That BNB long was cherry. That BNB long was cherry, guys. I love it when the TA ends up playing out. Bitcoin came down to its support. BNB did a nice 618 retracement. Fire off on that long. We're up a little $1,000 here, guys. See if we can clap out another, 2-3 Gs if she can run. I'll probably be holding this guy, especially if Bitcoin can get back up to the top of its range. Then we can see BNB get over here into like 680s or something like that, and I'll probably close it. And what does that make here at 680? If I was to close this up here, if I close this up at 680, another $2,500. So that's, shoot, 2,500 plus the 3,600 that I just closed this morning. It's almost, 5-6 grand. 5-6 grand trading these. Just using Bitcoin as my indicator and finding confluence on some of the support resistance on these altcoins. Let me look at the chat real quick. And again, you guys could like the stream for me, please. I know I'm going to try to get a couple of these guys. I told them months ago that I wanted to start a YouTube. Told them months ago that I wanted to do it. Everybody's super cool. They want to do some collabs. I'd like to do some collabs, man, and just run a bunch of trading ideas. I love it when I see other pro traders. I kind of have my own ideas, my own support, my own fibs, and then it's always good to see that other traders are locked in the same way and our ideas are bouncing off of each other and they're thinking like we are. But what is the XRP range in the moment? 252, 262. You guys want to look at Ondo as well? kind of have a joke inside of my my channel, inside of the Telegram, man. When Ondo gets to 110, you short it. When Ondo gets to 120, 125, you short it. It likes those levels. Let's look at Ondo real quick. The reason I say that, look, I mean, Ondo looks good. Looks like it's ready to go out, but let's go to a 30-minute real quick here. When Ondo touches 110, you short it. Easy trades, man. Easy trades. It's valid until it's not. Let's go to a 4-hour here. You could see next level 120, 125s. You just short it, man. Jeez. And these are trades. I do like Ondo. I think Ondo's doing big things. I think Ondo could be used for the future. If you see here, if we do end up getting that pullback, guys, then Ondo's entries, you'd be looking right here at, 93 cents. It likes 93 cents. You can see that 93 cents was a big resistance. Touched it, came down, touched it again, came down, tried to break out, didn't, and then finally did it. So I'd say right in here at, at 93 cents, if Bitcoin can pull, get a pullback to 97, 98,000. If it goes deeper than that, then you got to pull the fib from the bottoms, right? From 66. And that ended up, look at that fib actually. 82, 83 cents. Touched it multiple times in here. Touched it a second time. Again, it just really depends if Bitcoin's going to stop at 100 or if it's going to complete its move down to 97, 98,000. But that would be your move right there on Ondo. And I'm pulling a fib from two different areas. One from the bear market low, and then the other one from just this this support right here. I'd pull it from right here and just say, hey, locally, 92, 93 cents, 92, 93s. What's Bitcoin doing, man? Is Bitcoin making its little rise? Yeah, it's doing exactly what I thought. Every time it bounces off of this support line, slow grind. Yeah, and on my YouTube, guys, everyone's able to get access to my open chat, just a free open chat. Run your ideas by a bunch of different other traders. There's probably about 5 or 6 traders that are with me that have, since January, that have really picked up the style of trading that I teach, the methods, and they're killing it, man. We got some insane testimonials. Some of these guys on this Radical Scout method have turned $1,000 into $30K in the last 4 months, which is insane. Absolutely insane. I mean, scalpy, man. Those dudes are scalping like crazy. What's the other altcoin you guys want me to look at? And then he said XRP. XRP likes this 240 here, man. And again, guys, the only way to navigate through some of this stuff is support, resistance, and fib lines, fib retracements. Otherwise, you're just putting in some serious guesswork. You know what I mean? Just serious guesswork. But if this ends up, if this did drop 244s, 245s, yeah, this, 244s, 245s, that would end up turning this into support right up into here. It's hard not thinking, guys, that it's hard not thinking that it's not going to pull back. I think that everything needs to take a breather. We just got to be prepared for the pullback. On the upside for XRP, the reason why, I mean, we're coming right up into the golden pocket up on the upside, and that target's 270s right now, so it can squeeze out a little bit more. Absolutely, it could. XRP, if Bitcoin comes back up to the top of its range, if Bitcoin comes back up to the top of its range, which is really just right up here at 104.5s, not including any like these tops right here, 104.5s, then XRP can get absolutely right up into here into 270s. I mean, let's look at that. That would only be I mean, that's only a 3, 4, 5% move just to get up into that top right there. I think that could happen today, especially if Bitcoin makes one more little pop. What's the SPY doing? SPY's taking another swing. But that's another coin that I'd be looking to take a nice long on. I'd absolutely be taking those longs at that 245s if it comes back down here. You know, ETH, let's look at ETH at something real quick, because I didn't see where its next level should be for a pullback. Or resistance. So ETH's, man, it's all the way up here at $3,000, guys. If this thing doesn't pull back and Bitcoin continues to run before its pullback, then ETH has targets all the way up here at $3,000, $3,000 to $3,150. Sheesh. But I think I've been on for an hour, guys. I'll probably be live again inside of my premium chat, going back over it with them. I was live with them for about an hour. Normally on Mondays and Wednesdays, I try to stream for at least 2-3 hours with them, trying to get going over the strategies and the methods and trying to find us a couple of moves. And then I'm gonna start using the doing the YouTubes. And again, if you guys could just like the stream, man, start sharing it. If you guys go down to the bottom of my, you guys should be able to get access directly to just to the open chat if you guys want to join. You guys got any questions for me? Any other coins that you guys want to look at? The other thing too, guys, is that if this pullback happens and you're in some big profits, try to lock something in. Lock it in. Lock it in. You know, we got a little hashtag don't give it back. Don't give it back. Lock in some of it, because what goes up absolutely comes down. And on Ondo, we just did Ondo, but let's pullbacks would be 92s. 92 cents is where you'd be looking to take that nice big long. 92s before heading up. That kind of just goes in line with this little trend that we got going on. If you guys kind of see, Ondo's got a nice trend. If it does end up pulling back to 92 cents, man, you're just going to fire off. 92 cents right in here. And then all the way back up to 120s, 125s. That'd be your targets. Hopefully you guys like the first stream. I'm only going to be doing about an hour on the YouTube, and then I'll get back into the Telegram. But I hope you guys have a good day. It's going to be a fun week this week, whether we go down and we get into some of these longs, or if she just keeps going up and we're going to continue to scalp it until it's time to get a nice little short in. Again, what goes up must come down. I'm probably just going to let my trade here breathe for a little bit. Let it breathe for a little bit. We're up, we were up almost 1,000, but I do think that if Bitcoin can just get right back up to its top, then try to make this into a couple grand. Have another killer trade. Let's see here. We've been able to take this account all the way back up to, man, from 10 G's back up to 32 grand. Almost time to take some money off of the table. It's another thing too, guys. That's one thing that I have learned from CryptoFace and Jason Casper. Pay yourself, lock it in, put it back into the piggy bank. Do your best to not try to give it back. It's going to be a big week. Was it all right, Alexandra? Decent first stream. There's a lot of good TA right there, guys. There's a lot of different ideas to lock in some of these trades and try to get prepared for what's going to happen, you know. But I am expecting, you know, Bitcoin to make that pullback here, make that pullback and try to get inside of some of these set and forget longs. So, but I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll be live again on Wednesday, and inside of my premium guys, I'll probably be live again today as well. So I'll see you guys in there, and I'll be active in the open chat.